Yeah, you?
6th.
Welcome to the Box Score. The NFL season thus far has been as unpredictable as it gets, but there are some things that just seem to never change. The Patriots continue to steamroll through the AFC. Russell Wilson again somehow has the Seahawks contending, and the Cleveland Browns are still, well, you know, they're the Cleveland Browns, right? The NFL's version of that 30-year-old who keeps telling his parents he'll get a job and move out, and then shows up to his job interview in sweatpants. But listen, forever it has been easy to pick on the Browns. When you have 30 different starting quarterbacks since 1999, it's not hard to look for jokes. Cleveland being a bad football team is nothing new. What was new is the fact that this team actually had serious expectations around them going into this season. With the acquisition of Olivier Vernon and Odell Beckham Jr., it's hard not to get excited about a team that already features Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, Myles Garrett, and Denzel Ward. I mean, even our resident Browns fan, Avikar Gloth, was jumping out of his pants in anticipation of this season. He also did tell me before this show that they had the second hardest schedule in the NFL, so excuses are running rampant everywhere. But the move this offseason that will prove to kill them, if it hasn't already, is without question the hire of Freddie Kitchens. Yes, the talent has not performed like they should. Yes, Baker Mayfield is in the midst of one of the worst sophomore slumps in recent memory. However, the collective low morale and undisciplined nature of this football team falls on the head of Kitchens. And it did not have to be this way. John Dorsey had options galore that ranged from Mike McCarthy, Bruce Arians, Josh McDaniels, and even a possible reunion for Baker Mayfield with former college coach Lincoln Riley. Heck, even Condoleezza Rice was thought to be in the running. But Dorsey likes to do things his way without discussion, which was the rumor as to why he was fired in Kansas City after building a young team with such a bright future. Kitchens is the equivalent to the lifelong fry cook who applies for a stockbroker job on Wall Street. You take one look at that resume and wonder if they thought this was a McDonald's. Since his coaching career began in 1999, Kitchens was never more than a positions coach in college and the pros until mid-season last year when the Browns cleaned house with their coaching staff and made him the offensive coordinator. So it begs the question, why even run the risk? A Cleveland Browns team with this much talent has not existed since 1989. Yet Dorsey still thought a lifelong positions coach who slightly improved the Browns' offense playing with nothing to lose was the right man for the job. It all goes back to Dorsey. He might have built that team in Kansas City, but it was the coaches on the sidelines that were able to squeeze the most talent out of that roster. In Cleveland, things are different. That 27-13 loss in New England this past Sunday should tell the whole story. Not only has Kitchens looked lost all season, his constant explosions and sideline indecisiveness are not what you want to see from the guy who's supposed to be leading you to victories, not more embarrassing blowouts. Even his response to the Duke Johnson requesting a trade this offseason to NFL Network's Andrew Siciliano was troubling to say the least.
This was just a comment. He wants to be traded, you know. I want to win the lottery. All right, so it doesn't matter. He's a Cleveland Brown. He's under contract. He's going to...
Not exactly what you want to hear if you're someone on the Browns uncertain about how they view their future. And hey, you're more than welcome to say that it's his first year as a head coach and he needs some time to adjust. Sure, that's fair. But if you're the Browns, with this roster intact, are you interested in waiting around for your head coach to learn how to coach? If you're John Dorsey and Browns upper management, it's time to bite the bullet and realize you're not winning anything with Freddie Kitchens as your head coach. When the offseason hits, go out and get yourself an experienced head coach, or at the very least, someone with coordinator experience, and look optimistically towards a bright future. This Browns team will be good. It's just never going to happen under Freddie Kitchens. All right, with the World Series taking some crazy twists and turns, our cast thought it'd be a cool idea to get together and watch Game 6 together. Lucky for us, we had a camera there to document it all. Let's check out how things went.
Hey EIB, welcome to our crib. Tonight is Game 6 of the World Series, and we decided to have a box score watch party.
Who
invited Abby to this party?
Just how little Abby is.
The Nationals got what they needed. They got
Is that like old time
Mountain Road. Still I can't no more.
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Lightyear?
That's the guy who's an astronaut.
I'm Avi and I never went to the moon.
Hey Hannah, do you like baseball?
Hey, are you Jewish?
Whoa! Whoa!
You talk
Whoa!
about being
Whoa!
Jewish
Dude!
just as much as I talk about liking baseball.
Dude! Dude!
If not more.
You know,
That was ripped.
oh my god.
Are you
Hey, it's happening, and I'm a badass motherfucker.
I broke the TV. I hope nothing exciting.
Now we have to start over.
From the top. No more.
Now they have to pause the game in Houston for us.
That's
Hannah,
why
how's
it's
your
the box
water?
score with Ryan Rivera would not handle.
I literally just
Ryan Rivera would never do this.
I just ruined the whole show.
Brian, what do you have to say about it? Huh? Well, he says you suck. His words, not mine.
We just broke the
This is
stream.
enthralling stuff.
Yeah.
How are we supposed
Baseball-
to stream the stream if I broke the stream?
Justin Verlander could be just some dude, and I'd be jealous of his life.
Yeah. He's married to Kate Upton.
You mean if you wasn't a baseball player?
You mean if I was also married to Kate Upton?
Probably. I would love that.
I want someone to drill Juan Soto in the face with the ball. Not because I dislike Juan Soto, but I think it's disrespectful when he does that a little bit with the ball. I'm not saying they need to hit him per se, but just like Greinke did the other night, just like try and beat him in the face. He'll move. He's athletic.
What? Why?
Because it's disrespectful. You're gonna stand in the batter's box,
This is the
look
problem.
him in the eye and go,
This is the problem I have with like old school
Boom.
diehard baseball
Hot.
fans. Okay, they're like so anti-fun.
yeah, see that?
Why does that matter?
Grabs his wiener so everyone knows that he has
Marshawn Lynch did it all the time.
I think it's
Don't
fun.
hear anything
Yeah,
about
no
that.
one say anything.
He would
Marshawn
scratch
Lynch
grab us. He would like jump in the end zone like, hey yo, peace mode.
The ball looks like a strike until it gets to about here.
And you're already
And when
halfway
he's
through.
throwing a fastball or like whatever, that all of them are going straight and then it dips at the last second, you get swindled. Swindled into swinging the bat. It's insane. That's why I like to watch the overlays, because it shows you how they all look the same until the very end and it goes
5-3. Nationals win 5-3. Nationals win 5-3.
Okay, I can't believe you just thought that I would have want to partake in your birthday. And you just tell me it was your birthday.
No, you will. You will. Do the back score.
Oh, okay, well, I guess we'll just celebrate
No,
on
no.
your actual birthday.
Yeah.
I want to celebrate your
No,
birthday.
you went-
I
you
wanna
went-
celebrate
you
your
went-
birthday. He's the same age as us, guys. How does that make you feel? Juan Soto's doing that, and we're doing this. Thank you.
We're talking
All right.
about Santa Claus.
We also asked everyone that came in, everyone's predictions. What's your prediction? You get a head
This
start.
game?
Yeah. Who's gonna win? What's the score?
Nationals 5-3.
All right.
God, he's so fast.
God, I hate him so
Oh,
much.
he's so good at baseball.
Fuck that guy.
He has mittens on.
Look, he doesn't deserve the MVP. I mean, he doesn't deserve the regular season MVP.
Because he's a.
Whoa, 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 I gotta do like you hardly recognize me. I'm so glad I didn't like being here for you. You are the one for me. Get ready. In the nothing now, I saw the sun.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Loud noises! Why are you mad? Why are you mad?
They called him out.
What?
Oh, he's about to get thrown out. He's about to get thrown out. Ready?
They called him out?
Well, why was he out?
Can they
The
challenge
baseline
that?
to interfere with it.
Oh, well, no, look at his glove.
No, but he was
ran right
in the
into his glove.
baseline.
That's
He was
true.
in the baseline. That's his territory. Like, that's not Trey Turner's fault. And Dave Roberts is rightfully pissed
Wait,
off.
wait, 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 wait.
Yes. You can put him in your hand.
He's so like, it feels so weird.
He like,
Oh, they're
We're
bringing
gonna
up.
have to shoot tomorrow during Game 7. How shitty is that?
Welcome.
Come sit. No!
Ow.
Go! Oh my god! I almost called that! Damn it! Oh.
This is tough to watch.
Let's go!
Good night.
Game 7, here we come.
Let's go, Mets.
Game 7.
Go Mets. Go Tigers.
I know, no one in this.
Hey, Ryan. Carlos Beltran have swung at that pitch.
Show. Ryan Rivera was here.
I was here. I showed up when it mattered.
I think I see the,
Box
like, the
score
hard
out.
E.
All right, welcome back. Looks like you guys had a good time watching the game. All right, I'm now joined by Avikar Gloth and Michael Lagerwell. Last week, Michael, you went with the turtleneck, and now what? Did it choke you too much? Is that the problem? You a little bit more open?
Nah, you just gotta keep the audience on their toes.
Right, sure. A little too much skin for my liking, but whatever. All right, so NBA season started, but this offseason there was a lot of changes and a lot of team-ups once again in the NBA. Anthony Davis and LeBron, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard out there in LA with the Clippers, and then Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Guys, which one do you think is set up most for success going into the season?
I'll take this one first. And before we get started, I really appreciate that Cleveland Browns segment coming from the guy whose team is the only team to lose to the New York Jets. So congratulations.
Anytime.
As for the question, my NBA duo, although they haven't gotten off to the best of starts, is the Utah Jazz with Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell. I think Mike Conley is the exact type of player that should fit perfectly in this Utah Jazz backcourt. Donovan Mitchell, this is his 3rd year in the league. I expect big things from him. He should be an all-star this year. There's no question about it. He has all the intangibles needed. Utah is a very rigid, structured offensive system, and with the players they're acquiring, he's going to thrive from that. In addition to that, Mike Conley is the type of guy that can take the load off defensively. He's an excellent defender. He might be the best player in the NBA to never make an all-star game so far. I think these two are built for success for the long run.
So the team I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna have to go with Luka and Kristaps on the Mavs. They're so
Most
much
for success?
Yeah, they're 3-1. They just won in Denver, a team who's supposed to be pretty good this year. I don't know if you've heard.
They will.
But they're just so much fun to watch. That pick and roll, they're so dynamic. And it's a really fun to watch, and I think they're going to be really good, not only for this year, but for years to come.
So you don't have any questions about the roster that's built around them?
Well, I would, but then Denver answered those questions as Kristaps and Luka combined for fewer than 30 points, and they still won off the strength of their bench and Maxi Kleber.
All right, well, we'll see. You both named Western Conference teams, though. So let's go over to the East. And I think everyone expects the Eastern Conference Finals to feature the 76ers and the Bucks. Do you guys think there's going to be any surprise team that pops in there and says, hey, we're good too?
So, the team I think might give the 76ers and the Bucks a run for their money is the Miami Heat. I think Jimmy Butler is the real deal. I mean, heck, they just won in Minnesota.
I have told you this
ago.
before, right, that this isn't the hot take factory?
No.
That's later.
The Heat
Yeah.
will definitely compete for a top 4 seed in the East. And I think the path for the Eastern Conference Finals for either Philadelphia or Milwaukee is going to go through Miami. And I think that'll be tougher than they expect because they play really good defense and they're having a ton of contributions from players like Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero, who've both been amazing this year.
So while you're isolating games here and there, I think in the terms of the long run in the playoffs, there's nobody that's going to come out of the East that's not Milwaukee or Philadelphia. These two teams, I don't think either of these teams, unless there's a major injury to one of their core players, I don't see a way that any team outside of those two makes it to the finals from the Eastern Conference. I think both teams have elevated their benches. I think they are superstar driven. These are they have guys that you can just throw the ball to and score points in Embiid and in Giannis. I think both head coaches are pretty excellent, in Brett Brown and in Mike Budenholzer, former coach of the year. I don't see anyone beating either of those teams in a 7-game series. Miami might have some good games here and there, but over the course of the season and over the course of the playoffs, I don't think it will last.
Just real quick, you didn't mention either the Celtics or the Raptors, either of you. Do you guys think?
No, the Celtics have too many issues in their front court, and the Raptors, they'll be pretty good. I don't see them beating these teams in a 7-game series.
I think the Raptors will be in the mix with the Heat for the 3 seed. I just don't believe in the Celtics defensively.
With the Heat. All right. So, last week it was the Jets playing meaningful games in January.
All right.
Now it's the Heat. So
we don't need to revisit this.
Right. Oh, yeah, because it's a bad take. Right. It's whatever.
Just the team the Cowboys lost to. Don't forget that.
It's a gutsy take.
Right. Again, that's for the Hot Take Factory, but whatever. So I don't know how many, I don't know how many times I got to tell you that about the Hot Take Factory, but it's a lost point at this point. You're just not going to listen. So when we come back, we're going to head over to commercial right now, but when we come back, it'll be a top 5 segment on the best moments of this MLB season and another first-round sports court matchup featuring Jacqueline Galvin and Brenna Shelton. Don't leave your seat. We'll be right back.
All right, coming back in 10 seconds. Ready, camera 1. Camera 1, get a wide shot of the entire thing, and in 3, 2, 1, take talent cue.
Welcome back to Emerson College. Emerson
Camera
trails
4, get a shot of the players moving across the court.
10 seconds left. Emerson trails by 1 point. As
Camera 2, close upon the person shooting.
Thanks, Joe. With 10 seconds left, Emerson is hoping to pull away and score this big one.
Camera 1, get a close up, follow them over.
Emerson trails WPI 10 points. 10 seconds left. Emerson trails by 1 point as the team finishes their timeout.
Camera 1, close up on number 33.
Thanks, Joe. With 10 seconds left, Emerson is hoping to pull away.
Follow the ball, follow the ball.
Hey, we're your roomies, your homies, your new living best.
We live here too.
Thanks.
Liz! Do you have any idea what time it is?
It's time.
7.
Oh, 7? It would mean a lot to me if you guys watch.
Welcome back to the box score. The MLB playoffs have provided shocking moments and surprises that really none of us could have expected. Here to break it all down and rank the best of those moments are Hannah Brewitt and Oliver Chamberlain in our segment we call Top 5. Hannah, Oliver, take it away.
Thanks, Ryan. Coming in at number 5, we have the Cardinals' record-breaking 10-run first inning in the National League Division Series in their effort to secure the first National League Championship Series since 2014. They did it in style this time by tying the single biggest first inning in the history of playoff baseball.
And coming in at my number 5, I have Howie Kendrick's grand slam in the 10th inning to send the Dodgers home packing for yet another time earlier than wanted. This is now the 3rd year in a row that the Dodgers missed the mark, and Dave Roberts probably isn't feeling too good right now about that.
In at number 4, we have none other than the Soto Shuffle. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to see this in the World Series? You can tell the kid lives for the big moments and the entertainment of the sport, and that's what we're here for.
And for my number 4, I have Brantley's ALDS catch. This was one of the best defensive plays I've seen, not just in this postseason, but in a very long time. Out in left field, it was incredible that he even made the catch, and he was able to make the double play out at first to send Aaron Judge back into the dugout.
At my number 3 spot, I have DJ LeMahieu's tying home run in Game 6 of the ALCS. What a clutch moment. Down 4-2 in the 9th and slams one into a sea of orange out in the right field, denying the Astros faithful the opportunity to celebrate early. It was a great moment, but what I really love about it is its facilitation of my number 1 moment.
And at my number 3, I have Juan Soto's game-tying run off of Kershaw in Game 5. Now, you mentioned Juan Soto. He is one of the breakout players of this postseason. He's barely 21 years old and looks like a top 5 player in Major League Baseball as of right now.
Going off of that, coming in at number 2, I have Juan Soto's go-ahead bases clearing double in the NL wildcard game. Like I said before, this kid lives for the big moments, and it really showed here. Bottom of the 8th in a must-win situation with the bases loaded, Soto connects perfectly, sending it into right field and securing the lead for the Nationals. Sure, he may have been helped out by a little slip-up, but it doesn't get much more clutch than this.
And number 2, I have Jose Altuve's ALCS walk-off. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I was positive that either the Yankees or the Astros were going to win this World Series. Now, we'll see what happens in that regard, but it looked like LeMahieu might have got the Yankees ahead with that Game 6 homer. That's why mine wasn't on this list, was because of Altuve's walk-off home run right into the train tracks at Minute Maid Park.
Yeah, I mean, for my number 1 spot, I've got none other than Jose Altuve's walk-off homer to send the Astros to the World Series. I mean, this is one of those moments that shows what makes baseball so great. Bottom of the ninth, two outs, series on the line, and a man on base, and Altuve absolutely rips one over the left field wall, sending Minute Maid Park into a frenzy, the likes of which I've never really seen before. You gotta love it.
And for my number 1, I have the Nats winning the wild card against the Milwaukee Brewers. This was a pretty crazy game. You're in the 8th inning. 3-1 Milwaukee. It looks like they're about to secure the win. And then Trent Grisham in the right field, he makes that error. It should have been a go-ahead 1-run base hit from Juan Soto. We got 3 runs in, and the Nats win the wild card. Well, back to you, Ryan.
Welcome to Sports Court. Carolina Panthers entered the season with high expectations and a quarterback in Cam Newton that many believe to finally have a healthy shoulder. Well, that Panthers team started out their season 0-2, and after Newton went down in Week 2, those same believers turned to doubters once Kyle Allen took over. But in the last 5 games since Newton has been out, Allen has been 4-1, and the Panthers are contending for a playoff spot. So, the case being presented today is whether or not the Carolina Panthers should trade Cam Newton. For our second first-round matchup, we will have Jacqueline Galvin presenting the case for Carolina to trade Newton, while Brenna Shelton will be defending the quarterback's case to keep him in Carolina. Before opening up the floor for debate, we will begin with opening statements. We'll start with the defense. Brenna?
Although injury-riddled this season, Cam Newton should not be traded from the Carolina Panthers. With everything going on recently, it's very easy to forget that he was the #1 overall draft pick in 2015's league MVP. Through the years, he has clearly showed his presence on and off the field, and I don't think that's what's really in question. Sure, he's not been at his best due to these injuries, but that's no reason to trade such talent so quickly. Cam Newton will come back from this, and when he does, whether he's starting or not, he's going to challenge Kyle Allen for that starting position. This will make them both better players and in turn make the Panthers that much more dangerous. What makes Newton different from Allen is he knows his team. He's an established player among teammates and an absolute asset to the coaching staff who knows his style of play. I think moving him to another team would be a step back for whoever takes him, because it would take them seasons, if not games, to just adjust to the style of scrambling out of sacks and creating plays for himself and the offense to put points up. While any team would obviously be lucky to have Cam Newton on their team, it's the Panthers that would benefit the most from keeping him.
The Panthers thought they had their savior in Cam Newton when they drafted him in 2011. And they did. A Super Bowl run and 4 playoff appearances during his time as a Panther can be seen as a great run. However, Cam's time is up. The Panthers don't need him to succeed as a team. Their offense is switching from the pass to the rush with the addition of demigod Christian McCaffrey. Kyle Allen is running this offense in the same manner Cam Newton would be, by handing the ball off to McCaffrey. I understand you don't build an offense around an elite running back, but as of now, this offense doesn't need an elite quarterback. That sucks up money that could be used to sign young, high-caliber players. There are multiple teams that would love to have Cam Newton as their quarterback. Kyle Allen is playing nearly flawless football with a 106.6 passer rating before this weekend's game. Allen has talent. I'm not saying he's the QB of the future. I'm saying that the Panthers don't need a top-level quarterback in order to be successful. By trading him, they'd free up cap space and be able to sign more top-level talent in places that are necessary. Kyle Allen works for now, and the Panthers don't need Cam Newton in order to be successful.
All right, we'll see if that 49ers game this past weekend affects Jacqueline's argument at all. I'm going to open the floor up for debate. Go for it.
So I'm just kind of saying that The Panthers aren't winning because of Kyle Allen, but they are losing because of Cam Newton. I mean, the amount of interceptions that this man throws is unbelievable, and he also can't stay off the injury report. He's consistently on there. He has been for his entire career as a Panther.
What I think that we're avoiding here is we're not talking about how the injuries are different. So yes, this shoulder injury was supposed to be solved, and now it's his foot and it's something different. But this is coming from the same man that has shown dedication to a team that has been sculpted around him. They brought a new offensive coordinator. They brought in young, new talent to work with him and work with his style of play, scrambling out of the pocket, making those running plays that has an offensive line that's shielding for him and protecting for him. And also, he's not been that bad the year before. I know that they only came in second in 2017, but in 2018, when they came in third, they had a 67% pass rating. And I think that that can only go up. And in turn, Tom Brady tore his ACL in 2008. If they would have hastily traded him the next season, he would have gone from a 68% pass rating to obviously being out, and then was back up to a 65%.
But that's a knee injury. It's completely different when it's a shoulder injury, especially on his throwing shoulder, when his arm, it hasn't been good to begin with. I mean, even in Auburn, granted he did go #1 overall, but still. He's also on an 8-game losing streak, which is one of the largest in the NFL currently, and he's taking up so much of their cap space. So a great reason for them to trade him is because he has no money guaranteed next year, and they'd free up $17 million in cap space to get a young team, because they are starting to rebuild. I mean, the oldest player, I don't know, but the tight end, he's like 34 years old, and Cam Newton's 30. He's aging out of this team. This team is young. Rivera, I think he'll be out if Cam Newton does stay, because their coaching style hasn't really worked out that well together. And I think that's another reason for them to trade Cam Newton, is because Kyle Allen has been having the success not as a top level QB, 4-1, handing the ball off to Christian McCaffrey. I mean, there's no need for him on this team sucking up $18.6 million for someone who's just going to hand off the ball to Christian McCaffrey.
See, but here's what my next question would be is, where would he go? The #1 team in question that he could be traded to is the Bears. The Bears right now is with Mitch Trubisky, and he's had 9 rushing attempts in 7 games. Cam Newton in 7 games in 2018 had 52 attempts. It's a totally different style of play. And I think no matter where he goes, it's going to take a while to adjust to his style of play. It's very different and specific to this Panthers team that has been built around him.
But I think that the Bears could be this next level talent if they didn't have Mitchell Trubisky. I mean, Mitchell Trubisky is just an awful quarterback. I mean, I feel like there's really no case to make that he is an actual top level caliber talent quarterback. And I think that the Bears team could possibly win a Super Bowl with Cam Newton at the helm, and the Panthers could get a first-round pick based off of that.
Do you think that they would be able to adjust so quickly within a season to Cam Newton's style of play that this Panthers offense has strictly been built around? They have worked together to build this offense around him, and this is the same player that is such an advocate for Carolina Panthers. He often advocates for them. He released The Truth of Why I'm on the Sideline, which went into great detail about how he wants to come back for this team, how he wants to evolve with this team. Do you think that impacts him going somewhere else? Do you think he'll have the same passion and drive and be successful?
I mean, he could have the same passion and drive somewhere else, but this team is centered around Christian McCaffrey now. Cam Newton is old, he is injury riddled, and there's no reason for them to keep him because of that reason, especially when Cam Newton's rushing attempts will severely go down because of Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I can't say his name enough. He is the new face of this franchise. He is young, he's in his 2nd season, and he is having an MVP caliber year. Granted, I know running backs can get injured very easily, but Cam Newton has an extremely long injury history and has been out a majority of the year.
Do you think that Kyle Allen at the helm is going to do the Panthers any favors? Because when Cam Newton comes back, he's going to be able to challenge him as a veteran player and be able to help the team work together to go forward. Do you think that's worth losing? Because I don't.
I truthfully don't think that Kyle Allen is the quarterback of the future, but I think that as of now, he has those leadership capabilities. I mean, he's gone 4-1, and Cam Newton went 0-2.
He was absolutely destroyed against the 49ers.
Yeah, but Cam Newton would have been too. Cam Newton's arm, his
shoulder's healed. We're not talking about his shoulder
no,
anymore.
No, but even his
interceptions,
he's been historically has thrown multiple interceptions.
All right, You both made your case. Time for closing statements. This time, we're going to start with the prosecution. Jacqueline, go for it.
Look, Cam Newton is an incredible football player. I understand that he has carried this franchise on his shoulders when he is 100%. But the thing is, he's not 100%. He's not getting any younger, and his injuries are starting to pile up. While the Panthers would love to keep him, it makes sense to trade him and reboot this young offense. While his injury history may haunt his trade market, there are numerous teams making a playoff push that could use a better quarterback. The Panthers have all the leverage when pushing this trade and can get numerous draft picks and even players in return. It makes sense to test the waters either this coming offseason. It's time for the Panthers to move on from Cam Newton.
When it comes to trades, everything going forward is a prediction. You don't know if your risk will be rewarded or ultimately fail. What you do know is consistent is the pass. In 2018, the Panthers brought in Turner to help with accuracy. They surrounded Newton with more talented receivers. They set him up in particular for success for this team. Injuries happen, players get hurt, but Cam Newton will come back from this season just as strong of a player because that's the kind of person he is. The Panthers will benefit from that and keep him in the roster.
When we come back, we'll find out if the jury believes it is in the best interest of the Panthers to keep Cam Newton around or ship him out. Also, we'll head over to the Hot Take Factory to check in on Avi Kargloff as he'll try and put his disappointment in the Browns aside. He's going to try, I can't promise that, and give us a hot take on the Denver Nuggets you won't want to miss. We'll be back in 90 seconds. We're back here at the box score and ready to hear from our jury on their decision. Jury number one, how do you find?
Well, we wish we had a little bit more time to hear from each side, but we have to side with Jacqueline on this one in that Cam Newton should be traded.
Well, there you have it. Congrats to Jacqueline on the win and advancing to round 2 of the Sports Court Tournament. Now to end things here, we're going to go over to the Hot Take Factory and make sure Baker Mayfield hasn't made Avi tear down our set. This is, it's expensive, Avi. But also, he's got a hot take on a certain Western Conference team and where they'll end up that you might want to hear. Avi, take it away.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but today is not a good day to be a Browns fan. Thanks, Ryan. Boys and girls, it's time for some trivia. Which NBA team didn't sign a big-name free agent this offseason, has the 9th youngest roster in the league, and had the 8th highest preseason championship odds to start this season? If you guessed the Denver Nuggets, you've either been paying attention or you're probably just a Denver fan. The Nuggets won 54 games last season as the 2nd seed in the West, and Trey Lyles is the only player they lost from their rotation. This is a young team, fresh off a grueling playoff run in which they went to a 7-game series twice. There is no reason a young team this good that's bringing back most of its roster shouldn't make it to the Western Conference Finals. At least. Yeah, you heard me right. These Denver Nuggets will go to the Western Conference Finals. At least. Think about it. Nikola Jokic was named All-NBA First Team last year and should contend for MVP. They traded a late first-round pick for Jeremy Grant, a fantastic 3-and-D addition to pair with Will Barton. Jamal Murray and Gary Harris are snipers. Paul Millsap and Mason Plumlee are two veteran bigs that will hold down the paint and the locker room. Michael Porter Jr. and Bol Bol are top prospects that will contribute right away once healthy. And Mike Malone, he should win Coach of the Year. They only have 4 players over the age of 25, meaning Denver won't be relying on load management as much as other conference powerhouses. Their early schedule is filled with home games and lottery teams. This team has no glaring weakness or any off-the-court issues. They may not be sexy like the Lakers and Clippers, and they may not have a winning past like the Warriors and the Rockets, but this team has everything needed to get to the Western Conference Finals, at least. Back to you, Ryan.
Rockets winning past? You must be the kind of guy who talks about NFL championships when amount of Super Bowl wins comes up. But hey, man, listen, I believe in Denver. We'll just have to see if they can get through the gauntlet that is the Western Conference. Also, we made fun of you a little bit today with the Browns and whatnot. We pulled up one of your tweets, but it is your birthday. So an Avi Browns episode is also an Avi birthday episode. So happy birthday to you.
I'll take it.
Yeah, there we go. But for now, that's all the time we have here on the Box Score to keep up with Season 8, our new episodes, and the old and fresh faces you see here. Check out our Facebook page and our Instagram page at @theboxscore_EIV. Again, this has been the Box Score. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Relax.